Hi guys, I'm Gordon.
And I'm Alice.
And we're roaming with the Ramsays. Today, we're talking all about Christmas and RVs put together.
But now not all of the items that we have on our Christmas list are for RVs. Anyone can use them anywhere they are.
So if you know an RVer who's been a good boy or girl, maybe some of these items would be on their Christmas list.
Right.
But in all fairness, we have to disclose we are Amazon affiliates. We'll have links in our description below. We get a very small commission on any items you purchase using those links, and it helps support our channel to where we can continue providing content like this and all of our other videos that we've done in the past.
And it won't cost you an extra penny.
Not an extra penny. So we'll start with outside items first and things that we like that we use outside.
Yes. Now these are things that we really do use every single day. It's part of our hookup process when we get to a new site. The first thing is our water softener. The reason why we love our water softener so much is because you never know how hard or how soft a property's water is going to be. Now when we were in Utah, the water was so freaking hard that everybody had fuzzy hair. It was horrible. The water softener really saved a lot of that.
And if you do any kind of research on water softeners, you'll know there's reasons why people have them in their homes as well, because soft water makes things work so much better. All your soaps and detergents and stuff for washing dishes, bathing, everything. It's better for pipes. You know, RVs don't have metal pipes, but they do have water heaters, and soft water in a water heater is much better than hard water.
Yes.
And any other appliances that you might be running, like a coffee maker.
Right. I had to replace ours.
Before we got the water softener, our coffee maker was requiring a cleaning like every other week because there was so much buildup in it. So our second item is the ClearSource water filter. It's a 3-stage water filter that we recently got. Our son actually said, hey, what do you guys want for Christmas? And you know, we said we've been looking at one of these for a while, right. So he sent us one.
So thank you very much, Craig. We appreciate it, and we're going to be loving this water filter system.
Because RV parks and state parks, anywhere where you park your RV, you don't know exactly what kind of water you're going to get, just like you might be getting hard water. Some of the parks that you stay at may be on a drilled well rather than from city water. Usually I would say city water has already been treated, cleaned, and all that, so a water filter is not as important as when you have a well. But either way, having good, clean, filtered water is never a bad thing.
Exactly, for sure. So the next thing, and we have left several of these behind. We're probably on number 4
We've left 2 behind.
5 now.
We left 2
well,
behind.
one got broken too. Is the water pressure regulator. Now there's been a lot of parks where they have noted it right in their instructions or information when we receive it, when we check in, that their water pressure is very high, that they recommend using a water pressure regulator. So we really like the one that has the meter on it to where you can dial it.
Adjustable water pressure regulator.
He knows more about it than I do. I just say hook it up.
Right. So it's an adjustable water pressure regulator. So let's just say the park's water pressure is 70. Turn the little screw on top and you can dial it down to, I usually set mine between 40 and 50. It's enough water pressure to give you a good shower and dishes and stuff like that, but it's not so much that you're running as much of a risk of damaging pipes. Because every RV has PEX and then PEX connectors typically, or how the connections are made. And if you have too high a water pressure, it can bust those connections. And in the middle of the night, you might wake up to a big bad leak.
Well, we don't want that.
No. Okay, and the next item on our outside stuff is a surge protector. But this is really more than just a surge protector. We recommend the Hughes Autoformers Power Watchdog with EPO. Big long name, but it does so much more than just a surge protector. When you go and buy a surge protector, if you're buying just a surge protector, it's a one and done. So it saves your trailer from a high spike in electricity. It sacrifices itself to save your trailer, then you have to go and replace it. The Power Watchdog with EPO does so much more than just protect your trailer from a surge in electricity. Now, if you haven't seen it, we did a video where we got kicked out of a KOA when we were in Maine, and the reason we got kicked out was because their electricity was bad. We reported it to the park. They didn't like our report, so he said we can leave.
Right.
But our power watchdog was interrupting the service from the pole because of low voltage. So I'll put a link to that video, our kicked out video, and watch it. I did a great demonstration of how the thing actually works. You can read voltage. It's connected via Bluetooth right to your phone, so you can see what kind of voltage you're drawing. And if you're at a site where you have to pay for electricity because you've been there for a while, you can reset it as soon as you get there, and it will tell you how many kilowatt hours you use during the time that you're there. Oh, and if you're considering going to solar, yeah, like I am, it gives you an opportunity to measure how much electricity you use on a daily basis to help you plan your solar system better.
So TPMS, Tire Pressure Monitoring System. This system has actually saved us a couple of times while we were on the road and before we left our park at one point.
Right.
And so we highly recommend that you have a TPMS. The first time we picked up a nail at a gas station and we were just getting on the highway, our TPMS went off. Gordon backed that trailer right up the on-ramp again and got us right back over to the gas station to where we could change the tire, and we were able to make sure that we had all of that taken care of before we had a blowout.
Right.
The second time that it helped us was when we were at a park and Gordon was going around and checking his tire pressure the day before we got ready to leave, and we had a bad tire and we didn't even know it. Thanks to the TPMS, it let us know, and we were able to take care of that tire before we ever even left the park. So, my number one gift is a TPMS for any full-time or part-time RVer who has a trailer.
This is a must-have. This is not one of those would like to haves. This is a must-have day one item. And I say that because of how important it is. A trailer is huge in some cases and small in other cases. But you can't necessarily see the tires when you're going down the road, and just because you check your tire pressure while you're parked doesn't mean that that's what your tire pressure is going to be an hour later when you're going down the freeway. Right. So if you pick up a nail in a parking lot and you're traveling down the freeway, you have no idea that that happened. And I've known people who have had a tire blowout and they didn't know it until it was too late. So having one of these is very important. Now we use the TST system, the one that we had bought originally for our Alpine. You had little screw-on caps, you registered those caps, and those caps let you know what your tire pressure was. Our Riverstone actually came with a TST tire pressure monitoring system already installed, and the Riverstone actually has the pressure monitors inside the tire, and then I have a monitor up in the cab of the pickup truck that monitors all the tire pressure, and it's a constant. So if something happens, I would get alerted as soon as a tire dropped pressure real fast if you had a blowout. And even if it's just a slow leak, it'll still let you know.
Right.
So the TPMS leads me into one more thing, and that is a Viair Air Compressor. That's what we use. And we use the Viair because it's highly recommended by a lot of full-time RVers, and it works.
Yeah.
We first watch Mark and Trish from KYD with their Viair. Mark really loves his. But I learned that you needed something like that pretty early on with our Alpine.
Yeah.
We pulled into a gas station to try and air up the tires, and your standard gas station air pump will not put 100 pounds of air into a tire.
Yeah.
But my Viair can actually put 123 pounds of air into our current tires, H-rated tires. And that's something you're just not going to find anywhere out there. So having your own compressor and the ability to air up your own tires is very important.
At any time that you need to do it, you know, instead of having to go and find a place. Because lucky for us, at that situation, there was a tire place right down the road. So we went down there and had our tires aired up. So as you all know, we love to hike. We've done a lot of hiking in Glacier National Park. We've done a lot of hiking in Utah when we were there at all of the 4 different national parks that we were there for, and we love hiking. I'm not going to bore you with all of the hiking gear, but we do have a video that explains a lot of the hiking gear that we do use, and we'll make sure that all of those links are below also. You know, what's important for you to take on your hike, your backpack, and you know, your water bladders, and all of those kind of things are very important. And we just do a lot of hiking, so we wanted to make sure that we were ready for anything that happens while we're out there on the trail.
And I'll drop a link into our Glacier National Park video. We did a lot of hiking at Glacier National Park during our first year as full-timers. So if you like hiking or even want to do some research on Glacier National Park, go check out that playlist, because we did something like 16 different videos of Glacier National Park because we were there for 6 months.
Can't wait to go back. Now for the great stuff from me.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's right, you cook.
I'm the one that does all the cooking, and the first thing we're going to talk about is a Ninja Foodi.
Right.
So a lot of people talk about their Instapots, and a Ninja Foodi is very similar.
Yeah.
A Ninja Foodi does probably like 8 different things. I mean, it's a slow cooker, it's an air pressure, it's a rice cooker, it's an air fryer, which is what we like the most, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, if you like cooking food and you like crispy fries and crispy tater tots, corn dogs, Ninja Foodi is a great tool to have in your cooking arsenal. Just the other night, I actually cooked a 2-inch thick cowboy cut ribeye steak, and mostly in that.
Yeah.
What I do is it has a bake or a roast setting. I set that roast setting at 250 degrees, let it go for 45 minutes, and that got it to just about medium rare. Then I let it sit for a little bit. Got my
on the barbecue grill.
Got my grill going, took it outside and give it a quick sear on both sides. Done. So
he
it's
had
awesome.
perfect marks of the grill on his steak when he brought it in. I noticed when he was walking by the windows, I'm like, look at those lines.
But the Ninja Foodi really makes it easy to cook a 2-inch thick steak. So very helpful.
Now the Ninja Foodi is also one item that we had before we moved into our RV. So that is a great gift for anyone. Our daughter has actually purchased one because she missed using ours when she lived with us. So when we left shortly thereafter, she bought one for herself. There are different sizes. So if you don't need a big one, you can get just a small one. There's a couple of different sizes out there for those things, but highly recommend a Ninja Foodi.
Whether you RV or not, you know that humidity inside is a bad thing. It's really bad in an RV. Now, we had them in our house before also when we lived in New England, and that's a dehumidifier. So we actually have a pretty good size, about 1,000 square foot space dehumidifier for our trailer, and it's always on. It doesn't necessarily always run because it has a programmable setting to bring it down to a certain humidity, and then it shuts off until it needs to come on again, similar to an air conditioner. But when you're traveling in certain areas, the humidity levels can be pretty high, and moisture inside an RV is one of the worst things you can have. It leads to mold and all kinds of stuff. The dehumidifier really helps keep the moisture at bay, and it's really just, it's nice.
Right. Yeah, so there was times when we were in New England this last summer that we were emptying this thing like 3 times a day because the humidity was so high. If, you know, you walk around on your floor and your floor is sticky from the humidity, and it's just not comfortable, you know, and if you can pull that humidity out, it makes your living a little bit more comfortable on the inside, whether you have your ACs on or not. So a dehumidifier has been very useful for us, and we highly recommend it to keep that moisture out of your RV.
The next one is Alice's.
Ah, yes. It is the Dyson Vacuum Cleaner. My children bought this for me for my birthday before we left to go full-time RV. And it's funny because every time I use it, it makes me think of my kids because I am so thankful that they bought this vacuum cleaner for me. It is the perfect size. It's easy to store in the RV. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, where am I going to put this great big vacuum cleaner? I use my vacuum cleaner every day. I even vacuum the couch where Sky is, and we have one of these dog cover things on our couch to protect it from Sky's toenails or from the fur getting in places where I don't want it. And so it's just easy to take my Dyson vacuum cleaner and clean off this couch cover. And sometimes, you know, you can just throw the couch cover right into the washer and dryer, because that is my next item on the list, is the couch cover that we have for Sky. I've had one on our couch for several years,
right.
And it just really saves your furniture. So there's, you know, 2 gifts, 1 smack.
Right. Now, most trailers, newer ones, if you're buying a bigger fifth wheel, come with the onboard HV or central vacuum system. We throw the hose kit and everything away right off the bat because we don't use it. We found the hoses don't really extend far enough to get everything, and they don't pick up anywhere near as well as the Dyson. The Dyson is simple and easy to store, and it's really easy to use.
And it's so easy to clean, because I couldn't imagine with dog fur of having to clean the central vac all the time, where the Dyson vacuum cleaner, you just open it over the trash can, you dump it right in, literally 5 seconds, you're done.
So we definitely wanted to talk about dog gear. We've been getting more and more comments about our lovely fur baby Sky, and we do buy some things specific for her. Some of the things are like Alice just talked about, the couch cover. She has her own backpack for when we go hiking.
She's got a job. She's got to use it.
She has a job. She uses that. We like to paddleboard, and Sky can actually ride on the paddleboards with us. But when we ride the paddleboards with Sky, she's wearing a life jacket. And that's because, you know, if you're paddling and you're out in a big lake or something like that, and she decides she's going to fall off or something happens, she doesn't have to be able to swim all the way back. She's going to float. We don't have to worry about her. So we also did an entire video on RVing with dogs. I'll put a link up there. You guys go check that out. There's a lot of good stuff in that video, and there's links in that video also to all the various dog gear that we use. It's really important to take care of your fur friends.
Right, exactly. So it's pouring rain outside, so I'm very sorry if it's picking up the rain, because it is downpouring here in Texas. This is the first time that it's rained, and we've been here for 2 weeks now, and it is just downpouring. So sorry if you hear the rain beating on the roof here. So the next thing that we would like to talk about are memberships. We only have a couple of memberships, and I know that there's a lot of them out there. So if you know a full-time RVer and you want to get them a gift that's going to last them all year long, think about the different memberships that are out there. Now, we use Trip Wazard. We plan all of our trips there, and it's really nice because you can actually keep track of all of the different places that you've stayed. I'll go back in and make notes on those places if we really liked it, we want to go back again someday, or if we didn't like it and we don't care to go back to that place, because, you know, memory's not always there.
It's a powerful tool that, as a planning tool, especially as you're planning your route, you can plug in your rig's overall height, length, and everything like that, and then it'll make sure you don't go down roads that your rig can't fit, because ours is like 13.5 feet tall, so you don't want a road that has a bridge that's, say, 12 feet.
Right.
So it works that way, but it also shows you all the campgrounds in the area you're traveling. You can click on the link for the campground. You can get instant access to a website, reviews, and things like, does AT&T cell work there?
Right, yes.
You know, so it's really great for planning a trip. So it'd make a great gift for somebody who's maybe just getting started, or even somebody who, you know, has been doing it for a while but just never invested in Trip Wazard.
Right. So another one is Harvest Host. Now, we've done a whole series on Harvest Host coast to coast. We went from California to North Carolina, mainly using Harvest Host. We did stop a little bit in RV parks because it took us a month to go across. But we did, it was like a 2,000-mile trip, and we took like 4,500 miles to go. So we did stop a lot using a Harvest Host. Harvest Host is not expensive, and so you can, you know, by using our link below, you'll get 15% off of that membership, and so it's very inexpensive to give as a gift for somebody who you know that does full-time RVing or part-time.
Even if they're part-time, because Harvest Host locations are a great way to just go somewhere for a weekend getaway. When we were first in North Carolina, that's where we stopped, was at a Harvest Host location at a distillery And there were a couple other people there that they had just drove a couple 100 miles for the weekend because the distillery had live music, and it was just a great place to go and spend a weekend.
Yeah, there's all different types of places too. You know, you have farms and you have wineries and breweries and
distilleries,
museums, and you know, there's even an additional package that you can get if you want to stay at golf courses.
Yep.
So it's a big variety of places that you can stay, and we've loved it. We've used it a lot.
Right. Now, other things that you can do as far as like a membership, it's not really quite a membership, but you could buy a friend or a loved one a National Parks Pass.
Yep.
It's good for a year long at any national park in the U.S., and it's also good for many of the state parks that require an access pass.
Right. And it's only $80, and it lasts all year.
Right.
And everybody can go to a national park.
Right.
You know, they're all over the United States, and they're a great place to visit.
So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, ring that little bell so you'll get notified every time we upload new content.
Right. And don't forget, hit the like button for us also. That helps us a lot.
And leave us a comment and let us know if you have any of these recommendations that we made and how often you use them, or if any of the recommendations we made are something you're going to consider purchasing either for yourself or for a loved one.
Right.